My name is Benjamin Durham, and I'm one of the actors that plays Winnie the Pooh in Winnie the Pooh, the musical adaptation. Um, the show itself is a brought to life with puppets staging of the classic Winnie the Pooh stories, formed into a little new narrative that we've got created by Rockefeller Productions. Bringing all your favourite characters, favourite Sherman Brothers songs, and A.A. Milne poems together in a musical celebration of the beloved characters from the Hundred Acre Wood.
So for you then, where did kind of your Winnie the Pooh journey start? I guess childhood's probably where it all begins, but
Yeah, my mum is a big Winnie the Pooh fan. So I grew up with, the Winnie the Pooh mug in the cupboard, the books, being told the stories and being read those to you as a small child. I also grew up around the time of a lot of the Disney TV stuff. And I've got a little brother, and my little brother was then really young when the 2011 film came out. So it's always been there, and it's always been such a wonderful character that I've loved. And then this came along, which is brilliant.
yeah, I've broke these down into a few sections, kind of playing the character. First bit then is obviously the puppetry. Kind of is that when you kind of get the moment that you kind of find the character when you kind of work with a puppet?
I think Pooh's a really interesting character with puppetry. He does have that sort of there's a slowness. He's not going to rush and do anything. He's not energetic, so you can really sort of dive into the motions of that and really feel every movement. As we have the puppets, we're connected to five different points on his body, so we get to really control his head movements, his arms, how fast his feet go, and really we're sort of our centre of our body as the puppeteer is connected to the centre of his body. So there's a real sort of feeling of delving into this little 3 foot there in front of you as you, the character, feel that as well. There's a little moment before every show that I do. Me and Pooh will both do a little yawn just before we go on. It's a brilliant thing. I think it sums up the character and just sort of gets me physically ready to go on and do it.
Yes, and then obviously one of the big elements, obviously, of the character is the voice. That kind of is so recognisable that from the kind of Disney character. Anyway, and how is it kind of finding your own version of that?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think Jake, who's also playing Pooh here in London, has been doing it for years and has the ability to flip and jump into it straight away, and it's absolutely fascinating. Joining into rehearsals with Jake as also doing Pooh was brilliant, and he has that vocal control. I think it's something that you have to find a sort of a playfulness that Pooh has. Jim Cummings, one of the most recognisable voice actors for Winnie the Pooh, has a real quality that he's got this zone, but he also plays with it. He's done it for 30 years, and you can see the first 10 years, the second 10 years, and the last 10, how he sort of ebbs and flows with voice. I think it's been really interesting to watch a lot of that, listen to where it sits, and then sort of find that within myself. But sort of keeping those main characteristics, the playfulness, the slightly wider sound in the mouth, and then that sort of slight drawl that he has as well.
Yes, and then kind of when you do get the kind of role, do you then research, kind of go back and watch the kind of cartoons and read the books, or is it kind of create your own version?
Absolutely, no. It's go to the source material. I spent a lot of time watching a lot of Winnie the Pooh. I think it's really interesting to see where we sort of pull from. I know Jake loves the earlier stuff, the original sort of 70s, not the original, but like when sort of Jim Cummings first started, that side of things. I was, especially during the audition process for this, really latched onto the 2011 film, and the way the original stories with the A.M. Milne stuff was brought to life there. I've gone back and read the original stories, and also just listened to a lot of Pooh speaking in the various forms that he has. We have a little tradition. Me and Jake share the dressing room here at Riverside in London, and we'll always watch a little bit of the Book of Pooh, which is the TV puppetry adaptation. We'll watch a little bit of that before a show to get us both sort of in the mindset of Pooh, the voice, and all of it together.
And I guess, as you kind of mentioned, working with Jake, does that kind of help when you've been creating the production? You kind of got one of the guys who've kind of originated the role with you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is sort of my first dive into the world of puppetry. So for me, having this massive source of knowledge for puppetry and for Pooh specifically has been wonderful to share, and to also we can sort of bounce off each other and go, oh, he does this and that's brilliant. That's so quintessentially Pooh. You go, that needs to be in it. Whether it's him or me on stage, we'll have that as a Pooh moment. So sharing that's been really special. Yes,
but then on the flip side, is there kind of a pressure when you are playing this character, kind of, because obviously the expectation that comes with it?
Yeah, it's a huge, an iconic character, and there has to be sort of a level of respect there to go, okay, this is someone that everyone knows and loves. But I think there's a certain freedom within it to go, how do we as the actors bring our version of Winnie the Pooh? There are certain things that have to be ticked along the way and that you have to meet and have to be there, and that's what people want to see and love to see. But I think there is a certain joy and freedom in doing it in our way.
And then, I mean, I came and saw the show on Sunday, and it's joyous to see the kind of reaction, especially the variety of kind of ages in the room. Kind of how special is that for you when you're on stage and you can look out and see there's young children and even kind of grandparents there as well?
Yeah, I think the A.A. Milne stories, the characters, Winnie the Pooh, they all have this complete appeal to so many ages. Especially at the beginning of the process for this, it was everyone has a story about Winnie the Pooh. Everyone has something that links back to them, or they grew up and there was this moment that has the stories involved, the characters, and you just see that. You see people. There's a really special moment in the show, and it is Eeyore's first entrance. And I know Pooh has a line directed at the honey tree, and I'm always looking the other way. Yeah. And the feeling in the room changes as Eeyore enters every time. And it's moments like that where you go, people do just love these characters, and seeing those is just something wonderful to share.
Yes, and I know recently as a cast, you kind of went down to Ashdown Forest. Was that kind of helpful then before you opened to have that experience as well?
Yeah, we've got our own sort of little corner of the 100 Acre Wood that we share on stage. The set is beautiful, and it's really nice to have that, and also know, we know the original source material for this, the bigger picture, and see the rest of the world as sort of A.A. Milne created it there. It's really nice, and it was really special. It's a really special place.
Yes, and obviously honey is Pooh's big thing, and the reason that he goes on the quest in the show. But for you, if you were going to have to quest for one food in your life, what would it be?
I'm a big biscuit lover. I think for me, it'd probably be a custard cream. If you've got a pot of custard creams down and I've got a quest to get it, I will quest.
Amazing. That's the next story for you. Then if real life Benjamin could ask real life Pooh a question, what would you ask him?
I think I'd ask Pooh what he had for breakfast. There's a beautiful line in the books about Pooh wondering what he's having for breakfast. And it's just the simplicity of that. That is all that you need to ask. What is breakfast? And then life comes from that. So I'd ask about Pooh's breakfast.
That is a strong answer. I have some. I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Oh, okay.
I've got some Pooh quiz questions for you.
Oh, okay. Far away.
You might do really well. I don't know if I went too hard though. What year did Winnie the Pooh first appear? I'm going to opt for the 50s and go 57. No, you're quite a way out there. It's
Really?
1924, so it's
Oh
100 years.
wow!
100 years next year.
Brilliant.
Yes, it was 1924 that he was under Edward, apparently, and then in
Okay.
1926 he was Pooh.
Edward the Bear,
guys.
and then Winnie from Winnipeg.
Yes. Do you know what the second collection of stories was called in 1928?
I believe that's the House at Pooh Corner.
Yeah, see, strong. Do you know what year the first theatre outing for Winnie the Pooh was?
Ooh. No, I don't.
I was surprised by this. It was 1931.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was quite early. Because obviously it's only kind of 6-7 years after it first published. But
absolutely,
this one you might get. Do you know the name of the original illustrator for the Winnie the Pooh stories?
Illustrator. I know Sterling Holloway was the original voice actor, but I don't know the original illustrator.
Which is E.H. Shepard.
Of course, from the book. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yes. You've already beaten one of the next questions because you know Sterling Holloway.
Yeah.
But do you know the name of the first Winnie the Pooh Disney featurette?
Ooh. First Disney featurette.
I think it might be the main story for kind of the stage adaptation as well. That helps. The one you're in now.
It's not the expedition.
No.
That we lead to at the end of the show. No.
It's Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree.
And the Honey Tree, of course.
Yes. Again, you probably get this, but what year did the first full-length Disney movie release?
I'm hoping that's the 2011.
No.
Oh.
77.
77. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what happened to Winnie the Pooh in 2006?
Ooh. No.
He got a start on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I mean, if anyone deserves it, let's give it to Pooh.
Yes, too right. Do you know then what happened in 2010 where E.H. Shepherds were originally featured on? In the UK, this is.
Okay.
That helps.
I don't.
They are postage stamps, it was.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the final question here, can you name, other than The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh from 1977, any of the other 5 film Disney versions that there's been?
5 Disney films. So we've got the Tigger movie.
Yep.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yep.
The 2011. The Piglet movie.
Yep.
I can't remember the name, but we've got a Heffalump movie in there as well.
Yeah.
And then the last one.
Last one's the most recent.
The most recent would be Christopher Robin.
Yes, you got them all.
There we go.
Nailed it. Brilliant. And then I asked this question to everyone I interview. Simply, what does theatre mean to you?
Theatre to me, I think I'm gonna jump back to a story from my sort of childhood. My mum used to ask me what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I used to respond, and it's a story that she loves to tell, that I wanted to make people smile, and I think it's about stirring emotion and allowing people to feel and to relate. I think storytelling is something that is an intrinsic part of humanity. And I think the joy of storytelling and allowing us all as individuals to feel and emote is what theatre is.
Brilliantly put. Brilliant. My final question then for you today is the easiest one of them all. Why should anyone out there book to see this adaptation of Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh is just a joy to share. If you're a bright new baby child through to as old can be, you will find something to take from this and the joy in the classic characters that we all know and love. It's a real treat to share. We have a beautiful time. We hope the audiences have a gorgeous time. And it's just full of happiness and everyone's favourite 100 Acre Wood characters.
I wholeheartedly agree. I have no shame in saying it made me cry on Sunday.
Oh,
Because it's just one of them beautiful things, kind of like you say, is the characters first walk out, and it's just that magic moment. Kind of, you're back in your childhood, aren't you? And it's just a joy.
absolutely.
So brilliant. Well, thank you for your time. The show continues at the Riverside Studios until the 21st of May, and then it goes on an extensive UK and Ireland tour from the 31st of May.